Good evening, Santa Cruz. Let's turn off the echo as we start this fabulous show here. Community Television's Voices from the Village program. My name is Sandino Gomez, and I'll be your host tonight. Our topic, Abbott Square. But before we dive into this amazing new project that's going to, in my opinion, completely revitalize and reinvigorate downtown Santa Cruz, I just want to send a special shout out to Charlie and Betsy Phillips, our executive producers, unable to be with us in person here tonight, but always with us in spirit. Betsy, Charlie, Charlie, get well soon so you can get back in here. We want to see you really quick. And another very special get well soon to Grandma Mary Lou Wilkins out in Sacramento. We're rooting for you out here, me and Emily, so please get well soon as well. Tonight, Abbott Square. You may or may not know that happening here in downtown Santa Cruz is an amazing new project, recently featured as a cover story on the local weekly, The Good Times. Abbott Square is the small plaza behind the Museum of Art and History, the O'Neill's building, and the Lulu Carpenters. So Abbott Square is basically that plaza in between those three buildings, and the Museum of Art and History has taken on a real whale of a project here. They're looking to completely redesign and reinvigorate the space, creating a brand new public plaza for downtown Santa Cruz as a place to celebrate art, history, connection, food, and all sorts of other wonderful things. So we're really looking forward to kind of exploring this topic tonight. I know a few people that work at the MAH. You may not know that I know a couple people down there. So I was able to pull some strings and get my friend Chance Decker to come down here tonight. And he's actually the special events coordinator for the Museum of Art and History as they program this summer's amazing activities they have planned in Abbott Square. So we'll talk about those later. But first off, welcome, Chance.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Sandino.
Yeah, absolutely. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Cool. So you've been working on this project for a minute now.
Yeah, a little over a month or so.
Okay.
Kind of dove in as the Abbott Square curator for the summer to really prototype a lot of different events. I know we'll kind of talk more about the project in general, but this summer is really a cool opportunity to try some different things and see what resonates with Santa Cruz and really set some things in motion for next summer when the actually full project is unveiled with kind of the final plan. So it'll be awesome.
Cool. What brought you to the project? Like, what kind of made you want to seek out the position and make it happen?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up coming to Santa Cruz a lot. I grew up south of here in Prunedale, and as soon as I could drive, I would come up to Santa Cruz and surf on the weekends and skate. Okay. And I remember being downtown a lot, and I moved away for a while. I moved back, and my wife and I just recently had our first daughter, and we were actually out at a Santa Cruz Cares event and heard Nina speak about the project. And we love the MAH. We come down to First and Third Fridays all the time. Once we heard Nina really talk about it, we were like, we have to get involved. We need to support this in some way. And then when we actually started looking into the project, I actually saw that at that time they were looking for someone to kind of come in and just try a bunch of different stuff down there. And I've got a pretty extensive history in doing a variety of special events, everything from small scale to large scale. And I think that's kind of a little bit what they were looking for in this position, is someone that could come in and try a variety of things. And so it matched up and worked out, and jumped right on board. And it's been a lot of information, I think, in the beginning, to just all the different people that are involved in this project.
A lot going on too. It seems like quite an extensive project.
Definitely. I mean, it's, as we talk about, it's a place for the community, which means that there's a lot of people that want a voice and want to be heard in what the community needs downtown. So, even though it's the MAH's project, there's a lot of different people that the MAH is reaching out to make sure that we have everyone involved.
Yeah, it seems like there's fully support from the city, from the county, from other nonprofits with similar artistic missions.
Yeah. So far, everyone that hears about the project or that knows about the project is really excited about it. I haven't had any opposition. Even the downtown workers and the people that surround the area, they want it to be more vibrant. They're excited about the project. So
very cool.
So far, it's going great. We're
We're
still in the
phase
fundraising.
One, right?
Yes.
Phase 1 just kicked off?
Exactly.
That was kind of what the Good Times story was about, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
I think the Good Times story was about phase 1 and just the project in general, and kind of what a community space
Public space.
that means to downtown, and how it can really benefit everyone. So I think that was kind of the bigger scope, but it was really highlighting that kickoff of kind of that facelift version, that phase 1 where we just finished with the new beacon art sculpture.
Right, that was just less than 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
First Friday in June.
Exactly.
Cool. So you're wearing this button. Explain this buoy to me, because people have been. I've been wearing the button myself.
Okay.
But people are wondering, what does that mean? What is this thing like? What happened this past Friday? What was it?
So if you got to go down and check it out. I mean,
Okay.
it's hard to describe unless you can see it. And I think we'll have some photos a little bit later on that will actually
we'll have great photos.
that we'll talk about it or showcase it a little bit. But the beacon sculpture is it's kind of involved in the building. I think it's more than just a public art sculpture. Like, it's actually like the building itself, with this really cool reflective surface. And there's all these red buoys that almost make like this full circle.
It's a great optical illusion, right?
It is.
Yeah.
And different times of day just create totally different images. Like when the sky is blue, the whole space feels blue because it's reflecting that. And you know, when there's different sunlight hitting the tops of those buoys, it definitely like creates all these really cool like circular patterns and reflective patterns. So I think it's a really interesting piece. I think the best thing we've got going on right now is where you can take a selfie in the square, and go down there and actually take a photo and kind of, you know, do the tag of
Hashtag Abbott Square, right?
Hashtag Abbott Square.
Oh, it looks like we have a couple images here. Some folks doing the
so
photo booth. That was actually the photo booth from First Friday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so we try to, you know, let people have some fun, and it was an event, again, that's for the whole community to come down and be a part of it. So this is them all having fun. That guy looks familiar.
Some kind of nefarious character, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that Mayor Don Lane there, celebrating with his buoy and his partner? Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, I mean, it's a great, you know, I feel like it's a great connection to the community. I mean, we're such a connected to the ocean, and this is kind of a piece of that, but it's also very modern, and I think a lot of people recognize that and make it really stand out.
Good for it.
And I think we'll have a really cool balance when we talk about where Abbott Square goes and things like the Secret Garden. That'll be a really cool green space and play off of the, you know, the beacon sculpture that's maybe a very clean line. It's kind of modern feel.
You mentioned it was kind of phase 1, there's a couple more phases, and part of that also is like fundraising. We actually need to complete fundraising before the project can move forward.
Correct.
Completely in these new phases, right?
Correct. Overall, it's a $5 million project.
Wow.
I believe we're at about 4.4, which means we're almost there.
Doing great.
You know, we raised a lot of the big chunks, and so
how can people support the project if they want to? You know, they're going to watch the show. They're going to feel inspired. How can they support the project?
Go to abbottsquare.org. I think that's where
abbottsquare.org.
there's the most information right now.
Okay.
So if you go to abbottsquare.org, there's information on how to donate, how to support the project. There's some different levels that they have involved. So depending on that level of donation, you can actually get some recognition in that final development once it's actually finished. So that could be a really cool thing that you could be memorialized, or your family, or things like that.
I think I read something about every gift over $1,000 will be acknowledged in the project in some way or another.
Correct.
Great.
Yeah.
What a low barrier to entry for such a wonderful project.
Totally.
Yeah.
And
of course, you can give more, right?
You can.
You can give more. Okay.
Yeah, and those will be recognized in various ways as well.
Okay.
So all that information, I believe, is on the website.
Super cool. AbbottSquare.org.
AbbottSquare.org. Best
right.
place to go. Also for events or other information just about the project.
Cool. Well, you know, that past First Friday, we actually were able to secure some footage of, I believe it was Nina Simon, talking about the project. And unfortunately, it's not the entire speech, but we do have a good chunk of her talk ready for the audience to check out. So we're going to transition into that video, and we'll be back after this to kind of talk more about the 5 points that Nina's going to mention in her talk.
Cool.
Yeah.
How it could be a vibrant space, how it could bring people together. And so we are so honored to carry forward their legacy here in Abbott Square, to transform it into a space that takes us to that next generation of what a vibrant downtown means for Santa Cruz. What builds community? Play builds community. You know, as we were doing all of the community conversations about this space, we heard again and again from moms in Aptos, in Scotts Valley, in Santa Cruz, who said, if I'm gonna come downtown, I need a place that feels welcoming for me and all my kids, from the ones in strollers up to the ones who are zooming around. And a lot of people have said to us, you know what? I'm taking my dollars over the hill because I don't feel like there's a great landing place for me downtown. And so we are creating, not just here in Abbott Square, but in the back area of what is called now the back patio, we are creating a secret garden, an incredible interactive sculpture garden with beautiful plants and ongoing creative activities made for families, so that every family can feel like they have a great landing point downtown from which to explore and enjoy our whole community. And you know what? When those moms and strollers are coming downtown, it's not just going to serve them, because any space where you have old people, where you have young people, where you have children, and they all feel welcome, that's a space where we all feel welcome. And if we're all going to build a strong community downtown, everybody's got to be a part of it, from the 0-year-olds up to 100. And so I'm so excited about that secret garden area. And if you want to learn more about it, Carrie, can you raise your arm over there? Carrie, way over in the corner, is from Joni Janecki and Associates, amazing landscape architects who are leading the Secret Garden project. Go see some of their ideas. Go share some of your ideas for them. What builds community? Food builds community. You know, as we were doing these meetings, people said, you know what, art is great, performances are great, I love the idea of play, but if you don't have food in this plaza, I'm not going to come back again and again. So I'm thrilled to say that in the building behind me and over there, all of this building is going to be opened up and transformed into a public market with 5 mini restaurants showcasing the diversity of our local agriculture and championing our incredible, talented emerging chefs. Over the next year, you're going to see more changes. This secret garden space is being developed. This market is being developed. We're expanding the plaza out to the street, and we're working with the city to do ongoing street performances and closures like you're seeing tonight to be able to activate not just this space, but our whole downtown. What builds community? Connection builds community. You know, our mission at the Museum of Art and History is to ignite shared experiences and unexpected connections. And we've done a great job growing inside our building. So many of you have been part of that. Over the last few years, we've gone from 17,000 visitors a year to 52,000 visitors a year. We've collaborated with thousands of you, artists, community organizations, individuals. But you know what? No matter how many connections are ignited inside our building, they're always going to be stuck behind walls. And if we really want to build a future of our downtown and our community that involves everybody, that's too important to lock it behind walls. It's too important to put it in places like museums or restaurants or offices where we all have community. We have to bring it out into public space. We have to have places like Abbott Square where we can connect with people who are different from us, where we can say, I'm part of this community, I'm connected to this community. This is the place for that connection. So here we are, at the unveiling of this sculpture, at the unveiling of Phase 1. Over the next year, all of these additional changes are coming. This is a $5 million project, and I have some great news to share with you tonight, which is that we've already raised $4.4 million. We've raised it from foundations, we've raised it from individuals like you who believe in a stronger downtown, who believe in a community downtown. We've still got $600,000 left to raise, and tonight I want to invite you to invest in this project and invest in our community. And there are 2 big reasons I want to ask you to do this. The first is obvious. We need the money. We are moving fast on this project, but we can only open next year if we can raise this last $600,000, so help us get over that finish line and do that. We've got some really great incentives for you to do so tonight. 2 things I want to share with you. First of all, you know, a lot of these kinds of projects where you're doing a building project, you get to buy a brick. And then, you know, a year later when the project's done, you get to come and your brick is there. Well, we have a special opportunity for tonight. You could buy a brick right now and have it tonight. My friend Elise over there will take your money. Any gift over $5, you can buy a brick. We have some chalk paint. You can write your name on a brick right now, and you'll have it for the night. Now, I have to tell you, in the next 8 months, all of these bricks are going away. So if you would like a more permanent recognition in the plaza, we are designing an incredible interactive musical sculpture that's going to span from this part of the plaza back into the secret garden, and all the gifts to this project of $1,000 or higher will be recognized permanently in our downtown along that sculpture. And if that doesn't sound good enough, one of our board members has agreed to match every gift of $1,000 or more up to $25,000. So please consider making a contribution. Please visit Elise, please visit Marcus. Think about making a donation. We can take your credit card, we can take your check, we can take your cash, and we would love to involve you in this project. But you know, it's not just about the fact that we need the money. Here is the real reason I want all of you to give to this project, no matter how much money it is. If this is really going to be our community gathering place, it can't just be a place that a few people make happen. You know, a year from now, when this space is full of music and food and art and play, I don't want us all here enjoying it and for you to say, gee, it's nice that the museum did it. Gee, it's great that somebody else did this. I want you to be able to say, we did this. We made this community space and we did it together. You know, for a space to really be about community, it has to be about all of us building it together. So I want to invite you to get involved, to get invested, visit my friends at the table, consider making a donation, come back this summer. My colleague Chance Decker is here. We've hired Chance as our curator to do an incredible range of programming this summer, starting tonight with the China Cats playing. On Sunday there'll be yoga in the square. We're doing a whole range of different programming here this summer, all free, all opening up the possibility of what it looks like for us to have a community gathering place. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being involved. What builds community? We build community. Let's build community together here in Abbott Square.
Oh, nice little touch there. What a wonderful touch with the bubbles at the end.
The bubbles were really fun.
That was amazing. It was really quite a scene, right?
Yeah, and it fit great with the beacon sculpture.
That was hilarious. So unfortunately, we didn't get the whole speech there, but that was Nina Simon talking about the Abbott Square project, and she was referring to these 5 points about the project, the kind of real, what we could call the motivators or the driving kind of concepts behind this project.
Sure.
And so I believe she mentioned play, connection, but the other three are food, history, and art.
Definitely.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, think about, any place that has all of those pieces in it,
Yeah.
is going to be a fun place to be. And I think that was from a lot of research that they did in the past about, what are people looking for downtown? What will bring people down? What will people stay for? As Nina talked about, some of those things like, food and other things are, kept coming up, that these are things that they, need to figure out a way to include into the project in order to keep people, excited about coming back, I think, more frequently, which is important.
Cool. Well, let's talk about how these sort of relate to the project. Play. I mean, I know there's lots of potential for play in some of the activities you have planned, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So you're going to be doing things like...
One of the things we actually just kicked off this last week was a little worker recess. So
literally recess.
Recess, you miss it, right?
I did miss it, unfortunately, but I'm
Yeah.
not going to miss the next one.
You did. But I think our friends over at Next Space actually had started this concept of hey, let's get out of the office once a week for like an hour and let's just go out and play games for a little bit. We can network, we can talk to each other, we can still have some conversations about stuff, but let's just get some fresh air and enjoy it. We talked with them. We said, hey, we've got Abbott Square.
There's this place.
Yeah, there's a great location. Why don't you come on by? And now we're going to open it up to the rest of the downtown community.
Cool.
So if you work downtown, if you are downtown on a Wednesday around lunchtime, come on into Abbott Square. We're going to have a bunch of different games and fun activities, alternating different weeks. So every week will be something kind of fun and different. It's just a good opportunity to get out and have some fun and play a little bit. I think everyone needs to play.
You can't necessarily do those things like, on the sidewalks per se on Pacific Avenue. There's all these ordinances and things. So it really needs to be a special place for play to happen downtown. Like I was just telling someone the other day that you actually can't play hacky sack.
Really?
Yeah. You can't play hacky sack on Pacific Avenue.
You can in Abbott Square,
See?
especially on recess.
Okay, we're playing hacky sack at recess next Wednesday.
Yeah,
Fabulous.
And I think it's important. I mean, a lot of those tech companies over the hill that are recruiting people, the Google Lands and places like that.
Yeah.
The reason why they are so popular is because they're full of places to play. They've got a ping pong table in the office, and they've got a volleyball net outside, and they've got food for you and things like that.
I just heard about the Google bikes.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Amazing.
I've gone there and ridden them around.
Yeah.
But we have a really thriving downtown with a lot of new companies coming in. And if we can offer that here in Abbott Square, so a lot of the new companies, Looker, Next Space, or Cosmic, or all these guys, we can't always have space within their location to have fun and do play, but we can invite them out to Abbott Square.
That wonderfully transitions into connection. I mean, there's all these new people, there's all these new kind of groups in downtown. The tech scene is certainly established in Santa Cruz.
Definitely.
you know, we are looking to design communities where people don't have to commute and make these like long journeys, and how can we create communities where people can live in them? I mean, certainly making connections between ourselves seems like a wonderful way to do so.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think having a place where people feel safe and can come together for a common interest,
right?
Whether that's an activity, whether that's to eat, whether that's to see a performer, whether that's just to relax in like a comfortable space. I think all those things, when you bring people together, then they connect. They have more things in common.
And that is part of the mission of the MAH, right? To create these unexpected connections and bridge different kinds of people.
You know better than I do. I mean, I think,
well, I know some people that work there.
Yeah, I think the goal is to get our community to come together as much as possible,
right?
And to continually keep kind of expanding that. So
cool.
We don't want to just build a set community. We kind of want that community to keep growing and expanding as well.
And certainly there's ways to input people's kind of opinions on what could or possibly will happen in the space. I mean, like this is kind of a conversation. This isn't really us telling the community, hey, here's what's going on. Like as I understand it, you're very receptive to new ideas, new events, and connecting with new groups and people.
Definitely. I mean, that's what I've been spending majority of my time with is getting out there and getting connected with all these people that are interested in the project. So yeah, I mean, people can email me, chance@santacruzmah.org, if they want at any time. They can.
And these are all free events, right?
Yeah, there'll be a few events that we do that are kind of ticketed events, but I would say 90%, if not more, are all free events and open to the community.
Super cool, super cool. History, I mean, the spot is a very historical site. It actually was donated to the city by Chuck and Esther Abbott, these renowned photographers, hence the name Abbott Square. The Abbotts have a long history in this town of supporting a lot of great causes, and a lot of people don't know that the lighthouse at the lane, Steamers Lane, is actually named the Abbott Memorial Lighthouse as well. There's Abbott Row, if you know your downtown, hit it, blue plaque houses out there.
Yeah.
So the Abbotts have a long history in this town, and it's wonderful to know that their kind of descendants are actually still supporting the project.
Yeah, they were actually out.
They were there, right?
Yeah, not at the first Friday, but we had kind of a members only kind of sneak peek. To see the project as the scaffolding was still up and it wasn't quite finished, but we brought people in to take a look at it, and they actually came out, and we're looking at potentially having the Abbott family band actually still plays occasionally here and there, and so we're looking at maybe having them come out and do a performance sometime this summer. But yeah, I think it's really unique because I think the square, there is this history, it's been around for a long time. There's a lot of other history with that area, with Cooper Street and the Cooper House. Are really, people have these memories of things, but at the same time, when I ask a lot of people if they know about Abbott Square, you kind of have to describe it how you started off with. It's behind the Museum of Art and History. It's next to Lulu's at the Octagon. So it's an old space that has gone a little bit gotten forgotten. And I'm glad that we're bringing it back. So it's almost like kind of breathing new life into kind of an old historical space.
Very cool, very cool. Yeah, I mean, I think absolutely thank you, sir. Just in case you feel like calling in Santa Cruz, that's right. This is a live call-in show if you're watching on June 14th. We have the technology, we can take your calls, 425-8848. Extension 30. There it is, extension 30. So if you got a question for Chance, please feel free to jump into this conversation. But yeah, I mean, the Cooper House, to me, like, I remember it as a child. My dad used to take me there. It unfortunately disappeared when I was 9 years old, so I didn't get to really experience the scene. But I know, like, my dad took me down there and he'd hang out with his friends, like, grab a beer with some buddies, grab a bite to eat. Santa Claus used to be there. It was cool. Like, I remember the Cooper House as just this like happening downtown place. And the back patio was actually still there. Abbott Square was there then, and a lot of people reference the Cooper House, and it's like, oh man, we used to like hang out in the back patio. And
totally.
Yeah, so it's great to hear that that's part of the vibe that's going, that's in this project, like it's intended that way, right?
Yeah, and I think some of the best things we heard at the first Friday was at the end of the night was from some of the people that were out there dancing all night. It was like, you know what, this kind of reminds me of the Cooper House. It was a different style of band. I think Cooper House is known a little bit more like of the jazzy kind of stuff, and this was a Grateful Dead tribute band, but they kind of felt that vibe.
Though.
Oh yeah, the spirit's alive, I think, in Abbott Square.
Very cool. So, we have the history with the Museum of Art and History. You have the art as well. You're planning, I mean, Beacon is an incredible piece of public art. You know, it's a new sculpture in downtown.
Right.
Really intricate, amazing piece of public art. There's other pieces of art planned for Abbott Square as well, right?
There definitely is. Some, you know, public permanent stuff that'll be out there. I think there's some ideas to have some pieces that can kind of be somewhat interchangeable. You know, involving that whole public market, it's going to be a whole new space where we can kind of showcase, hopefully, a lot of community art. I think that's, you know, the museum as much as possible, again, wants to kind of showcase Santa Cruz and things like that. So.
We're all about collaboration.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Cool. So, you know, it's going to be art, it's going to be history, there's the connection, there's play. Those are all great things, but you know what I really, really, really need?
What's that?
Some food.
Yeah.
I'm kind of hungry.
And
we hear that
people
often.
stick around.
Yeah, people will stick around for food because we hear that at the museum that sometimes, you know, they love the events, they want to hang out, but hey, you know, you got to feed the kids. Hey, I'm hungry. I just got off work. How does food fit into Abbott Square?
Well, I think in multiple ways. First off, this summer, I know that we are going to basically be kind of prototyping food downtown, doing some food trucks on First Fridays, actually closing Cooper Street.
Right.
So that's a really cool way to kind of first start involving food a little bit. On some of our other events, like our Makers Fair, the Makers Market Santa Cruz will actually have a food vendor there. So some of our other events, we're looking to incorporate food. So this summer, we're kind of trying some options, but when we talk about that next phase of that master plan, that whole first floor is really going to get renovated into a whole public market with 5 kind of quick grab-and-go restaurants, like a chef incubator, beer and wine, and really like indoor-outdoor seating. So think of it a place where you can go, grab something quick, tell people to meet you downtown to grab a drink after work, with still some art and entertainment and programming and things like that in the space. So cool. It's I'm really excited for that. I mean, I think that's one of the things that's a game changer. Santa Cruz is already growing. I mean, we've got such great restaurants popping up downtown.
Literally, there's one called Pop-Up.
Yeah. And I was
That's helping that phenomenon continue.
It is. And I was just at the Food Lounge on Friday. They did a really cool kind of like happy hour meets farmers market kind of for restaurants.
That
you know what I mean?
awesome.
For all of their kind of kitchen incubators, I guess they would be called. But so I think there's a really big movement in Santa Cruz to have really great quality, like easily, you know, affordable, easily to get to food options. So it's going to be really cool and change Santa Cruz downtown.
I heard great things from both the general public about the food trucks in May and in June, as well as the food truck vendors. They were both, well, I should say all 4 of them actually were quite happy with kind of being able to share their craft with the general public, and to have a place to do so in downtown is really a treat, because as I understand it now, they're only allowed to go to like parks and private property, but here's a wonderful public space that's, you know, serving up delicious food, quite frankly. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think
On
it's a
First
great
Friday,
thing
so
that they're trying out for the summer, and hopefully at the end of it, they'll have some good feedback that really pushes towards having it be a regular thing, if not all year long, at least throughout, you know, our really busy season this summer.
So there's going to be this whole new kind of cafe, bar area, like a public market, and then you're going to be actually able to sit outside and enjoy your food and your drink and everything?
Yeah, so basically, right now, I think one of the biggest things that's missing in Abbott Square is just a place to sit and relax. You know, Lulu's at the Octagon has some seating, but majority of Abbott Square is kind of open, and so think of that, and hopefully, I think we've got some renderings we could show.
I was about to say, that would be wonderful. Why don't we throw those renderings up there, please? If we could. Because it kind of really, we can talk about all we want, but as I say, a picture's worth 1,000 words. So when we get those renderings up there, we can just kind of share the vision. That's the encouragement to take a selfie, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
But that's as it exists now.
That's the
actual photo of the beacon sculpture, right?
Correct.
Beautiful.
So, yeah. And you can see the cool reflection. So and that's the rendering.
And here's the rendering. Wonderful.
So you can see, like now there's a lot more seating outside. You know, places with some shade. You know, we can see the phase 1 in the background with that, you know, really cool optical illusion, which is it's awesome seeing it in person because it looks just as good.
It looks. I mean,
But as you can see, this is the outside, and then kind of through those windows, you can see the people in the background lurking. It's kind of inside, actually, where that public market will be, which is just going to, again, I think change downtown with a really cool place. Just say, hey, I'll meet you in the square. You know, you can grab food. There'll also be these really cool
More
lines.
of a view from Cooper Street here, right?
Exactly.
This is a view from Cooper Street. You can see the Octagon on your left. And it's just a further back view of the same image, right?
Yep. And you can see the cool reflection. So and that's the rendering.
And it's just a further back view of the same image, right? And it's just a further back view of the same image, right? Yep. And it's just a further back view of the same image, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much the same angle, but from the street. And you can see that there's some changes, but not a whole lot. You know, we're not gonna make anything super major, but we are gonna resurface it. Right now, there's some issues with it being level and things like that. So,
right, and stretching out a little further, right? It's actually going to come out a little further, closer to the street.
Correct. To my understanding, it's
so
going to expand
bigger
out.
plaza, and you can kind of look to the right along that hallway there, and way in the back, it's hard to see, but there's a lot of green. Looks like there's a lot of green behind the museum.
Yeah.
That's part of the project as well. It's kind of connected to the Abbott Square revitalization. The Museum of Art and History is going to be putting in a secret garden, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
What's that about?
It's exactly what it is. I mean, I think it's a place to really have some green space downtown. I feel like that's one of the things that when you look at the museum right now, it looks so modern, but there's not a lot of green connected to it. That back area, the secret garden is going to be like a really green space, very family oriented, where kids can go back there. There'll be a really cool sound sculpture that connects the two. So when we talked earlier about that fundraising,
Right.
That's where you can get actually your name engraved on a plaque and get some recognition on that sound sculpture that connects the secret garden and Abbott Square. So it's cool because it kind of creates a separate, like kind of private place, but with a lot of green back there. I've seen a lot of the ideas, and so far it just looks amazing.
Right.
So I'll be
Very
excited to, cool place to hang out back there and kind of get a different vibe than in actual Abbott Square.
Very cool, very cool. So bigger plaza, a new little secret garden, great little kind of hidden place.
More seating.
More seating, more public art, right? There's going to be another kind of fountain installation, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe
right?
so. I mean, I've been involved a little bit, but
Right.
the planning is kind of a separate.
You're the
subcommittee.
activities guys.
I'm doing
more of
stuff
a-
for this summer and
yeah.
trying things out, so that way I can really give them some direction on what they think would work for next year. Is it something like a yoga on the weekends? Is it a after work happy hour things? Is it family oriented? Just trying to really try a lot of stuff this summer and be able to provide some direction for what they can maybe plan around in those final stages of construction.
Great. If we could we please get a shot, maybe Gail, if you wouldn't mind zooming in on this here image. It's a wonderful overhead of kind of the scope of the project, and I think we had some great graphics there, but I'd love if we could just zoom in on this here and get a shot of kind of the overhead, because I think it does make a bit more sense. If you could just zoom in there, please. No worries. The kind of, you can always support community TV as well, because some of our cameras are a little old, a little slow. Please go to communitytv.org, support us if you wouldn't mind. Just kidding.
I was going to say, you can go at the abbottsquare.org.
Okay, there's another image right there, right?
You can, I think you can see more of the renderings. We'll definitely be doing some other events where we'll be out talking about the project, because we are still in that fundraising phase and trying to get that last bit of money.
Okay, so here we go. What builds community? Abbott Square. We got the museum over here. The secret garden's going to be there. This building that's currently the Chamber, Commerce, and the old Vino Cruise, that's all going to be the public market, all this space here. Wow. And then seating, events, performances, there's the actual Abbott Square space, and then Cooper Street right here.
Right, and then you got the Octagon there.
Very cool, very cool. And the Octagon where Lulu's is, right. So just to really orientate people, that's a lot of construction. That's an ambitious project.
It is, and that's why, again, it's been kind of in the works for a long time. I've heard people mention, that Nina brought it up. One of the first things that she talked about when she first kind of took over the position was, she had this idea about Abbott Square and about creating kind of this outdoor extension of the museum, but really a place where people could come downtown and feel connected with the community.
Mm-hmm. Very cool, very cool. And so the vision is, all these things are going to happen in the summer. There's going to be some kind of reevaluation, and then they're going to move forward with this second phase, and then the kind of final phase is really just reopening the plaza and then kind of launching the public market next summer, right?
Correct. Yeah, so plan for about a year from now, I would say, we'll have this thing up and running in downtown Santa Cruz. Pending, we get that final push of money to make the project happen. Right. But I think with the support from the community we have so far, that we'll hit that mark pretty easily. I think we've got a lot of people that want to be a part of it. And as Nina talked about, that's the coolest thing. That's how I first got involved in the project. Was I heard about it, I just realized, man, I want to be a part of it. I want to be able to say that, like, one day I helped with this project, as my daughter grows up in Santa Cruz, and you know, as I hang out in this space with friends and things like that, like I want to be able to say like I helped make this happen. And I think there's that opportunity for everyone in the community right now. It doesn't matter what donation, you know, whatever level you can do to support it, you know, get some recognition, get a button, you know, we have a bumper sticker, little things like that, just to show that you support the project, because it's much bigger than the MAH. You know, it's really about, I think it's much bigger than downtown. I think it's about creating a you know, a community, like kind
whole
of
different society, right?
bringing that whole like the heart and the center of downtown and the center of Santa Cruz to life, where, you know, everyone can be a part of it and everyone can come down and experience it whenever they can.
Yeah, I'd agree. Really cool, really cool. Thanks for sharing all those graphics. Wonderful crew. Wow. I mean, so what are some of these activities you have planned? I mean, this is an impressive project. Let's just launch into some of the specifics. Of course, people can go to abbottsquare.org, and there's a calendar of events that's being updated all the time, right?
Correct. Well, right now we've got like the first month up. I think I'm going to go and just put the whole summer up. That way people can kind of plan around it. But yeah, I think we've got a lot of fun stuff for the community and trying to kind of appeal to all different audiences. We've got everything from yoga in the square. We actually had a class this morning with some people out in the square doing yoga and getting fit and healthy. We talked about that recess going on. So we've got a downtown workers recess on Wednesdays at noon, where anyone who works downtown, or if you're just downtown and you want to come have some fun, like come into the square, play some games. We of course have our big events that we normally do through the museum, counterculture, First Friday, Third Friday. We've got the race through time. So we've got some events that we can totally talk about, that with every one of those, we're going to expand some programming out into the square. So our next event coming up, counterculture, which is next Friday.
Next Friday, right? Yeah.
Yep. Everyone should come down. So it's one of those unique events where it's free to all museum members, but otherwise it's a ticketed event for just the price of admission to the museum, which is really affordable.
Very reasonable.
$5 max, I think. Like
3 if you're a student or senior, right?
And
but important,
certain kids are
12 and under free.
Amazing.
But that's really, you know, you want to just become a member, because then you get into all these events for free.
Totally.
Right, and you support the museum as they do this amazing project.
Way to go, for sure.
That's the way to go.
Yeah, you might as well. But I mean, come down, check it out. We'll actually have Cooper Street closed. We'll have some VW buses all out there.
I heard there's a VW car show.
Yeah, there's a VW bus kind of club that's going to come out with all their buses.
Very cool.
We actually have the booth bus coming out, which, if you're not familiar with those guys or not.
Don't tell me you have the booth bus.
We've booked the booth bus.
With all of the props and everything, and
we're working on the props, making sure we got some counterculture goodies.
Excellent.
But we'll have the booth bus out there, so it's one of those perks.
Okay, yeah, wait, that's an inside thing. What is the booth bus?
The booth bus is this amazing VW bus, I believe named Georgia, who has been turned into a photo booth. So you actually can jump in the back of the bus, take some photos, you get your printout, you've got the props. It's a really cool thing. Those guys are awesome. Anthony has been great to work with, and
Very cool.
They'll be out. We'll have some music playing on the stage. Some of the guys from China Cats will be doing a set. We've got some folks, the narrators will be there performing. So we've got some food options with Indian blue corn tacos from Cat. So
I know about
it's
Navajo tacos.
Totally, worth it to come out, join the museum, get to experience all these things, get your photos. We'll be doing some tie-dye activities, some printmaking stuff. I mean, there's a whole lot of things. On that, you can just go to the MAH website, I believe, and you can find
SantaCruzMAH.org.
Correct.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you can find information on counterculture. So that's probably one of the next ones.
Great. Yeah, that's coming up next Friday.
Next Friday.
So, yeah.
And then we've got, a whole bunch of other stuff. Everything from silent discos to succulent swaps. We've got.
What's a silent disco?
So imagine being somewhere with 100 of your friends, and you're all got headphones on listening to the same thing, but nobody else can hear what you're listening to. So it's basically exactly what it is. In Abbott Square, downtown, we can have a little dance party with everyone on, listening to the same music and having a dance party in Abbott Square without, offending the neighbors or bothering some of the other street performers with a really loud sound system.
Right.
So it'll be fun, and it's good for all ages. It's on the events calendar, but you can come out. Again, it's free. Just come have some fun. And to be honest, it's almost as fun to watch 100 people dancing to something that you don't know what they're listening to. than it is, to participate. So, first you'll want to watch it, and then you'll be like, I gotta hear what they're listening to. I gotta get in on this.
It's gonna probably pull people in, huh?
That's the plan.
Nice.
So we've got that going on. At the end of the month, we've got a Makers Market Santa Cruz, which is a really cool group of individuals in Santa Cruz that all make handmade goods, and we're going to have a market for them to come out. There'll be a couple of workshops that you can actually learn to make some of the things, so you can sign up. So free workshop. We'll have some food vendors out.
Awesome.
Austin from the Back Porch is going to be out there serving up some great food.
You can get them at the Wednesday Farmers Market.
Yeah,
delicious
for sure.
lamb sliders.
Way to go. So we're working with a bunch of other local vendors like that to come out and be a part of events. So I think we've got some good stuff coming up. The end of summer, we'll have like a Dog Days of Summer event. I've got a meeting tomorrow morning kind of confirming the details, but with some of the local animal shelters and doing like a very pet friendly. You can bring Chico out.
I have a wonderful little dog named Chico. That's true.
Maybe do a fashion show or something, so we've got all kinds of things going on. So I would check out the abbottsquare.org for all the events.
And you mentioned one other of the third Friday activities you had planned was the race through time.
Yeah.
So as I understand that, that's a kind of an urban scavenger hunt throughout different parts of Santa Cruz history where you're racing either, I guess they have two, there's a bicycle racing component and then a walking component. You pick one or the other. You don't have to do both. They're going to be Iron Man or anything.
Okay.
But yeah, and then you get these clue booklets and solve all these clues and gather all these points, and then it's a kind of a fun competition, a race through time. And I guess there's a new component. There's hoping to be a dance party.
Yeah.
As I understand it.
Well,
through time. Maybe?
A little dance through time.
Party through time.
Yeah. So that'll be a fun way to kind of end the night with all the participants of the race through time. So that's the July 3rd Friday event. And I think you can sign up through the website.
Right, yeah. Details are on santacruzma.org, and the whole thing's listed there. Yeah.
Cool.
You do have to pre-register for that one.
Yes.
And it is a bit more expensive than some of the other ones because of all the organizing involved with it and the fabulous prizes that you could win. But other than that.
True.
Yeah. Cool. So, I mean, movies, dancing, silent disco, dancing.
Exactly. We've got a really cool Princesses of Surf exhibit that's going to be opening up soon. So we'll be doing a luau with those guys after they do like a paddle out, and they're going to actually we've got some boards that people are going to surf, not the actual ones, but replicas.
Tell us about that a little bit. What, a little more? You mentioned the exhibit.
So Princes of Surf, we actually have some of the first surfboards ever rode in Santa Cruz at the river mouth that are getting shipped in from Hawaii.
Wow.
And they'll be on display, as well as a lot of other information kind of about the real history of surf and, kind of Surf City Santa Cruz, where we really started.
Right.
So there's a lot of actually fun things that I just got brought
introduced to
into.
the West Coast here even.
Yeah, this is like the spot.
Wow.
And these are the boards.
These are the boards.
Which is pretty amazing.
Made from these old redwood,
like 18
old growth
feet
redwood
long
trees,
or
right?
something crazy. And I've heard we're going to have like a woody procession. We're going to do this paddle out. We're going to do all kinds of really fun stuff. And then kind of culminate the weekend with a luau in Abbott Square with hopefully some performers and music and, raffle prize, all that kind of good stuff.
Mahalo.
So that'll happen in July. And I think we're trying to keep busy with a lot of variety of events.
July 19th, right?
Correct.
The paddle out and the luau?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah. Very cool.
Trying to think if there's any other. I mean, we're still working with some of the street performers in Santa Cruz, and we are still booking performers. So if there's, people out there that are watching and they, would love to come and be a part of Abbott Square, reach out to me, Chance at santacruzma.org. Try to find a spot to fit you in. I mean, we want it to be a very vibrant location. We want there to be some times where people can still, of course, work in the area, so we're not going to book bands all hours of the day, but we do have some slots where we are still looking for local performers, so please reach out.
I do want to remind people that this is a live call-in show, so please do give us a call. As we enjoy this fabulous picture of Elise, look at that.
Yeah, so that was at that kind of members-only pre-kickoff event, and Elise was there kind of taking those donations, getting people to write their name on the bricks, as Nina was talking about, giving out those bumper stickers and the buttons and things like that. So we do have some great collateral that we're producing if you'd like to show your support. I think the more people we can get aware of it, surprising how many people know of it, but also surprising that don't know about it. There's a lot of people, I think, that, like I said, don't really know Abbott Square, and I think now are just seeing the sculpture and realizing something's happening. We put up some great window wrap information in the square just to help kind of answer some questions. I think the website's great, but the best thing we can do is probably just bring people down and let them experience an event and be a part of that community that's really thriving downtown.
Very cool. I know Ryan Coonerty was at the kickoff. I don't know if it was the members reception or the first Friday, but I know we had Ryan Coonerty there, and he said a few words, but he's said this about Abbott Square. Abbott Square is the heart of downtown. MAH's plans to revitalize the space will make that heart beat strong with innovation, culture, and community, not just today, but for future generations. Please join me in supporting this remarkable effort.
Yeah, I think it definitely says a lot about, that this is not just a project for now, like this is something for the future, and building that community and getting that place that people feel comfortable to come to with their families, with kids. It just is going to really help the community thrive and really make it someplace that people for generations will continue to come back to.
Right.
Like I said, it started. I used to hang out in Santa Cruz, and I had a different experience hanging out downtown and what it was like back then. And I'd love for my daughter to experience this really great community that we're building.
Yeah, I mean, I think as I've lived here my whole life, and I just remember hearing so many people like wax poetically about the loss of kind of the spirit of downtown Santa Cruz after the earthquake, and we lost some ridiculous, like 2/3 of our buildings, and there's been a lot of reconstruction and a lot of great efforts to preserve some of the architecture and some of the character of downtown. Great. But I mean, with such a loss of so many places and spaces, including especially the Cooper House, many people feel that it just hasn't really had a chance to come back, that kind of Santa Cruz vibe and that funky, weird character that we all know and love, that we hope to keep weird. It needed a home. And so it's just so cool to hear you talk about how so many people don't even know about that, but here we are being able to share that information and just promote this project, because it's quite interesting, quite cool.
And the great thing is that we just hit that phase 1, right? So we're only just starting to we still have a whole year before it really gets unveiled. So the more people that we can make aware of it now, they'll follow the process and really be a part of it.
Awesome. I mean, yeah, I'm just excited to see this thing unfold. I mean, for what you have all summer planned, and then really the food markets, and I'm always motivated by my stomach, so the food is especially exciting. But
I have a feeling you might be able to smell some of the food from your desk. So. Is what you might need to do.
There's no windows, unfortunately, but I'll pop the skylight.
Through the ventilation.
Through the ventilation. Well, that's El Palomar.
Oh,
actually.
Yeah, true.
Cafe El Palomar. So cool. So, Abbott Square, again. Oh, why don't you talk a little bit about this project here?
Sure. So this is one of the people that we partnered with, the Makers Market Santa Cruz.
Okay. Who are they?
Kind of a group of local individuals that all make handmade goods, basically. Mm-hmm. So everything from sea salt, bath salts, to clothing and jewelry, and a variety of things like that. So they'll actually be doing a monthly series over the summer. So the last Sunday of every month, they'll actually be in Abbott Square with a full setup. We'll have some actually workshops, so free workshops, you can learn to make your own, bath salt sort of thing. Those things will happen, and there'll be some food. Hopefully, we'll have some entertainment. So there'll be great opportunities for people to come out, check them out, and hopefully, start your Christmas shopping early, or at least just support and shop local.
It's never too early to support local arts and crafts.
Yeah, and get them now. So I grew up, my mom would always have a box in the closet of Christmas presents that she would buy all year long when you saw something that someone likes. So might as well stock up now.
My mom's the same way. So that's going to be June 28th, July 26th, and August 30th from 12 to 6 in Abbott Square, the Makers Market.
Correct. Last Sunday of the month for the summer. And you can come out. I mean, it's a free event. The workshops will be actually free. And there'll be, a bunch of vendors that you can check out, grab some food, hopefully have some entertainment out there that you can actually just relax to.
Early for yoga.
You could do some yoga.
Stay for the Makers Market.
Correct, for this month. Because the yoga series isn't going to go all summer. So some of the other ones you might not have yoga, but
all right.
But it totally makes sense. Yes.
This month. So June 28th, Sunday, June 28th.
Yep.
Get out there early. What time's the yoga again?
That one we're going to push a little bit earlier, so probably at 10,
Okay.
so that we have it done so they can set up for
Right,
this event.
right, I'm sure.
Lately it's been at 10:30, so if you want to come next weekend, it's at 10:30. The 28th will probably push a little earlier, just so that way they have enough time to set up.
And all that info is on abbottsquare.org.
Correct. Best place to get everything.
Very cool, very cool. Anything else on your mind, man? I mean, we're kind of wrapping up here. We got a few more minutes for the show. Like, any final thoughts for kind of?
No, I mean, I think I'm really excited about the Abbott Square project. I'm just excited about getting more involved in the community. I'm doing a Next Talk this week at Next Space on Thursday, which is a free event to go to.
Cool.
Kind of event planning 101. So you can, if you're out there planning events and you're thinking, man, like, I wonder what it takes to plan, 30 plus events in the summer in Abbott Square. Like, I want to go hear what this guy's got to say. He must know a little about what he's doing. So I'll be doing that this Thursday. But I'm just excited to get involved more in the community as much as possible, and I'm excited about the Abbott Square project because I think it provides that place for the community to come together in the future. So all the relationships I'm building now, I can't wait till a year from now where we can all, toast over a beer and some great food in Abbott Square. It's gonna really be exciting.
I know there's another third Friday activity planned, Growth.
Yep.
Do you know who the musical acts are going to be? I know there's a lot of people who have been mentioning the China Cats as a really popular act, but I know that collaborates with the Dear Jerry exhibit.
Exactly.
That's in the MAH really well right now.
Yeah.
So if people haven't seen that, they should definitely check out the Dear Jerry exhibit.
They definitely
MAH.
should. Come out if you want. I mean, the next first Friday, you can see the unveiling of the Princes of Surf and the Dear Jerry.
Okay.
We'll be doing some ice cream, and we've got a band booked for Jerry's actual birthday in August. I think it's August 1st.
Cool.
And then, we've got the China Cats, or some variation of, because there's a lot of guys that jam with them.
Right.
Playing at a few events throughout this summer. And then we've got some opportunities still, like I said, if people are interested in coming out and performing, and we're willing to take them on. But we've got some great stuff lined up, and a variety of things. So, those silent discos can be everything from Motown to EDM. I think we're gonna have some fun and just kind of see what resonates with the community.
So that first Friday is Friday, July 3rd, and I know they're going to open up the evening at 5:30 with a talk from Jeff Dunn and Kim Stoner about the kind of tracking down of these historical boards. So that's definitely not to be missed.
Yeah. I think all of the stuff around those boards this summer is going to be awesome.
Very
it's
hot.
something that I know everyone's been working hard on, and I think the luau will be something you'll want to get your tickets to, because it'll be a cool opportunity to see the culmination of all these different pieces that are coming together to get those boards into town too.
It's gonna be so cool because I've heard there's this other place that is saying something about Surf City, USA.
I've been there.
You've been there?
It's not the same at all.
See, because I just think somewhere where they, introduced surfing to the West Coast, that to me is sort of Surf City, USA.
It is.
Man, this is a dang shame. That's a dang shame.
Everyone up here knows the truth.
Even if we don't have the copyright.
Right.
Awesome. Well, I think there's the surf exhibit, there's the Jerry exhibit. There's all these things happening in Abbott Square. You can go to santacruzma.org to learn more about the specific, first and third Fridays. You could go to abbottsquare.org to learn so much more about what's be happening in the square itself, like the Makers Market in Santa Cruz.
Exactly. And get involved. Support it if you can.
Right.
At whatever level is possible, I think is important. Now's your chance to be a part of this thing, to get that last push to hit our fundraising mark.
Yeah, great. Let's see. I'm just reviewing all these notes here, and it's really, really great. I want to thank you, man. I just want to thank you here. Chance Decker, you really shared a lot of great information with us tonight, and people can always go to abbottsquare.org to get more information. Go to santacruzma.org, get more. Any final words, final thoughts, man? Reaching the end of the show here.
I hope to see everyone out there in the square this summer. I mean, I think that's the best thing we can do is get people out and listen. I'm out there to try to hear their feedback.
Okay.
They can email me information or questions, concerns. I think we want to know what you guys think out there, and we want to really put some stuff together that everyone wants to see and hopefully benefits the community and gives everyone a place to come together and have a good time.
Sounds great.
I appreciate you being out here.
Oh, no, thank you, my man. On behalf of all of the staff, the volunteers, the board, all the people that make community television possible, I would like to say thank you. Again, a very special shout out to Charlie and Betsy Phillips. Charlie, get well as soon as you can, my man. We want to see you back in here. You know, it's a lot of work to get these topics together, so please get better, man. I can't do this every week. And a special shout out again to Mary Lou Wilkins. Grams, please hold it down, get better. We want to see you at our wedding this summer, so please pull through. My name is Sandino Gomez. We will talk to you next month, I'm sure, at some point. From all the camera people, the crew, the cast, Voices from the Village, have a great night. Thank you so much.
All right. Oh, accountability. You all did good. Better than we did. Thank you.